Hey guys, welcome to Science with Miss Hennessy. So for today's assignment, you're going to go to October 2020, and you are going to go to this week, which is this folder right here. And then you're going to click on today's assignment, Irregular Volume. It should bring you to this page, and you should be able to click or view the document. If you're not able to, it might be because you have to connect your OneDrive. So on your screen, it might say My Document. Click on that and then click Connect, and you'll be able to view the document for today's lesson, which looks like this. So while I'm going through the rest of the PowerPoint and through the lesson, you'll be completing this while I am talking. And then at the end, that will be what you submit for your assignment. So today's aim is how do scientists determine the volume of irregular objects? So we've been talking about volume of regular objects. We know that we find volume through length, width, and height. A regular object we know has definitive sides that we can measure with a ruler. Irregular objects don't necessarily have a clear length, width, and height. So this object here, this rubber stopper, I can't take a ruler and measure this, right? So I need to find the volume in a different way. So let's review. What is volume? Pause here to write your answer on your worksheet and then press play when you're ready to move on. So volume is the amount of space an object takes up. So whether your object is regular or irregular, all objects take up space. So all things have volume. So some vocabulary for today. Irregular object is an object without a definitive length, width, or height. And the meniscus, which we'll talk about in a moment, is the curved upper surface of the water in a tube, specifically the tube being a graduated cylinder. So this is our graduated cylinder. So take a moment to write down the definitions of our vocabulary for this lesson, and when you are done, you can press play to move on. So some notes for today. The unit used to express volume of an irregular object is liters or milliliters. The unit used to express volume of an irregular object is centimeters cubed. So the unit used to express volume of an irregular object, this should say liquid, irregular liquid, and I will change that in the PowerPoint that I post. But the unit used to express volume of a liquid is liters or milliliters. That's what that should say. And then this one is the unit used, let's just edit it right here. The unit used to express volume of a liquid. Sorry about that, guys. Oop, I'm shouting it. Okay, so the unit used to express volume of a liquid is liters or milliliters. The unit used to express volume of an irregular object is centimeters cubed. The tool used to measure liquid is the graduated cylinder to measure liquid volume. So you're always going to check the unnumbered line. So for example, on this one, can you guys see? It says 80, 90, so it's skipping up by tens, but we always want to check to see what the value and scale is for the shorter lines. Sometimes they're 1, sometimes they're 2, sometimes they go up by 5s. It all depends on the tool that you're using. And then liquid volume is determined by observing the meniscus. So what is a meniscus? It's this curved surface right here. You'll get to eye level and you'll read what it says. So let's try it. What is the liquid volume in the image to the right? So to the left, sorry. If we look at this image, we can see where the curved line is. That's where we're going to measure. So if we count and figure out the scale, we can see that there's 9 lines separating 60 to 70. So we know that each line represents 1. So if we have 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this volume here should be 66.0 milliliters because it's liquid. We're looking at the liquid in the cylinder. So to find the volume of an irregular object, you're going to find the initial volume of water by reading the meniscus. So you would fill this up with water and read the meniscus, just like we did on the last slide. You then take your object and gently place into the cylinder. The volume is going to go up. So you're going to find that new volume. You'll then calculate the volume using the formula and record your answer with units. Remember, liquid volume is always expressed as ml or milliliters. When you have a solid, so this is a solid, that's going to use centimeters cubed. Even though we're not using a ruler, it's still solid, so it needs to have centimeters cubed attached to it. So the formula for finding the volume of irregular objects is your new volume minus the initial volume. So your new volume is what you get after the object is in. Your initial volume is what you started with. This is also known as the water displacement method. So if we take a look over here to the right, what is the volume of the sphere? So we have to look for our new volume. Here we can see our new volume is 65 milliliters. And then our initial volume is 40. So volume equals new minus initial. We have 65.0 milliliters minus 40.0 milliliters, which gives us 25.0 milliliters. However, is this correct? Are we finding the volume of the liquid or the sphere? So technically, this should read centimeters cubed. That should be centimeters cubed. So I tried to trick you, but you cannot be tricked. So that is how we find volume of an irregular object. So what I would like for you to do is find the volume of the graduated cylinders and objects on the worksheet provided, which you can see here. So you're going to take some time, you're going to find the volume of each of these objects and indicate it on this area below. And if you would like to learn a little bit more about irregular volume, you can click this link here and watch a video on irregular volume. So take a few minutes to complete the worksheet and find the volumes, and then you can press play, continue the video to partake in the wrap up for today. So, how do regular and irregular objects differ? Regular objects have defined length, width, and height, while irregular objects do not. Explain why volume of an irregular object still uses the unit centimeters cubed, even though we are using liquid to find the volume. So we use centimeters cubed because we are still finding the volume of a solid object. The only time we use milliliters would be if we were only finding volume of a liquid. Solids always use centimeters cubed. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you tomorrow.